Tofu versus beef. Which has more nutrients per serving and which one has more nutrients per calorie? We're going to compare nigari style tofu to beef tenderloin. A serving for tofu is defined as a quarter cup, whereas a serving for beef is defined as 3.5 ounces measured raw, about 3 ounces cooked. And they're actually not that far off on calories. 117 calories for the tofu and 135 calories for the beef. You are getting more protein from the beef, 22.2 grams per serving, compared to 10.3 grams for the serving of tofu. But the tofu is giving you a little bit of fiber, 0.5 grams for a serving of tofu, compared to none in beef. And tofu is a good source of a couple different classes of phytonutrients, including phytosterols with 100 milligrams per serving compared to none in beef, and antioxidant polyphenols with 263 milligrams per serving compared to, again, none in beef. What about essential vitamins and minerals? Well, beef wins for some and tofu wins for some. Beef wins for vitamin B12 with 155% daily value per serving compared to 0 in the tofu. But tofu wins for manganese with 37% daily value per serving compared to 0 in the beef. Beef wins for vitamin B6 with 37% daily value per serving compared to 2% in the tofu. And beef wins for vitamin B3 with 32% daily value per serving compared to 3% daily value for tofu. Tofu wins for copper with 30% daily value per serving compared to 8% daily value for beef. And tofu wins for calcium with 21% daily value per serving compared to 1% daily value for beef. And beef wins for zinc with 31% daily value per serving compared to 12% daily value for tofu. And beef wins for selenium with 39% daily value per serving compared to 25% daily value for tofu. And finally, tofu wins for magnesium with 10% daily value per serving compared to 3% daily value for beef. It is hard to declare a winner looking at nutrients per serving, especially because the nutrient profiles are so different. For almost all of the nutrients that tofu is a good source, beef just isn't. And vice versa. For almost all of the nutrients that beef is a good source, tofu just isn't. Which I guess is an argument for incorporating both into our diets. But for now, let's call this one a tie. So how does this translate into nutrients per calorie? Well, when you crunch the numbers and calculate nutrient density, you end up with a Nutrivore score for nigari style tofu of 282 and a Nutrivore score for beef tenderloin of 393. So sure, in this comparison, the beef wins. But the nutrient density of different types of tofu varies from about 200 to about 500. And the nutrient density varies by cut of beef, with fattier cuts having much less nutrition. So the Nutrivore scores of beef range from about 125 for something like a 70-30 ground beef to about 450 for a very lean cut of beef. And actually, at the end of the day, you will find that most cuts of beef and most types of tofu have very similar nutrient densities. So again, maybe a tie.